is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
They're coming back.
Our whole lives have built up to this moment.
Not going up there to make friends, right?
Hold on!
Let's show some fireworks.
Get ready for a close encounter!
What goes up must come down.
We sacrifice for each other no matter what the cost.
Because our survival is only possible when we stand together.
The battle is coming. Independence Day resurgence in theaters on Friday. And from our championship city, we welcome you into Progressive Field on an absolutely perfect evening in downtown Cleveland as the Indians go for the sweep, wrapping up the homestand tonight against the Tampa Bay Rays. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. The Indians are on quite a roll. They've won 10 in a row here at home, which, Rick, is the longest home winning streak in Major League Baseball this year.
Well, they've been on quite some roll, and last night it was Corey Kluber who just continued the dominant pitching that the Indians have had. He had a variation of great cutters, fastballs up in the zone. He busted more bats than he gave up hits for sure. He only gave up 3 last night, and Kluber evened his record up at 7-7. So it was a very good night for Cleveland Indians pitching. You see, over their 10-game home winning streak, the pitching has been outstanding. They've been scoring from the 7th inning on. That's been a big thing. They continue to add on 21-4. They've outscored their opponents, and it's been just a fun ride so far.
Trevor Bauer will get the start for Cleveland tonight, and we always talk about there seems to be one pitcher on every team that just doesn't figure into the decisions. Well, lately it's been Trevor Bauer's last 5 starts, only 1 decision. It was a win, but over those 5 starts, Rick, his ERA's 2.5.
Well, he's pitched very well, and he's gone every start in June. He's had 4 of them, at least 7 innings. So he is 1-0 in those 4 starts, but he's kept his team in every ball game, and that's all you have to do here. Keep him in the ball game, Trevor, and by the end of the game, you're going to end up becoming a winner if you can stay out there long enough, and he gets better as the game goes on. Matched up against Chris Archer, who is 0-3 in the Central this year and 0-4 against the Cleveland Indians in his career. But Archer, the Indians beat earlier in the year. A lot of his pitches were up in the strike zone back then. You can see from this footage here, everything is down. And when he's down, he's going to be tough to hit. And the Indians are going to have to force him to bring the ball up and see if they can have more success against him.
And a key to Archer is getting him early. He's given up 16 first-inning runs so far this year. Indians Rays Tribe trying to sweep the homestand. We'll have the first pitch coming up next. Plus, we'll check in with Andre Knott. We'll get the fallout from Championship Parade Day in downtown Cleveland when we return. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
all the LeBron wishes and coming home wishes and all that, but I'm nothing without this group behind me, man. I'm nothing without the coaching staff. I'm nothing without the city. You guys are unbelievable, and these guys told me I got to turn around, so I'm nothing without y'all. I love all of y'all.
Quite a day in Cleveland as the Cavaliers had the championship parade. Well over 1 million people jammed their way into downtown Cleveland. An absolute sea of wine and gold lining the streets in and around the ballpark, which did make it somewhat of a challenge for those of us who had to get to the ballpark to work tonight. And let's go down to Andre Knott with more on that story.
It was tough for some to get here to Progressive Field today, to say the least. For Terry Francona, he had a dentist appointment early this morning. Since he got a ride back about 9 o'clock this morning, and he walked a couple blocks to get back to his place. Then he came to the ballpark, and he went up into the upper echelon of the stadium to watch him put everything together. He said he loved the opportunity to see everything that happened in Cleveland. Now, I got to tell you, there's some other guys that didn't get here when they wanted to. For Chris Jimenez, a usual 20-minute trip took him 2 hours today. So he was a little frantic when he got here. Ty Van Berkelo, it took him about 1.5 hours as well. But everyone is here. Everyone was accounted for, and everyone is ready. But they really enjoyed seeing the city like this. Now, I'll tell you a little bit later on about Juan Uribe. He got here at 10:30 a.m., but he was a little mad because no one was here to help him work out.
Yeah, he was here probably going, where's everybody at? What's the big deal? What's going on?
He didn't think it was a day game, did he?
Well, it was a special day, and one that any of us who are in and around the city will not soon forget. And the Indians take the field on a roll themselves. They're 10 games over 500, trying to sweep the homestand. And Trevor Bauer warming up for Cleveland. Let's look at the lineup you will face tonight for Kevin Cash and the Tampa Bay Rays. Logan Forsythe, he'll lead it off. Brad Miller bats second. Evan Longoria hitting third. Logan Morrison, Desmond Jennings, Corey Dickerson in the middle third. Taylor Motter bats seventh. Nick Franklin, his first action in the series, batting eighth. Kurt Casale will hit ninth.
And tonight's Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher for the Tribe is going to be Trevor Bauer, who is 4-2 with 3.46 ERA on the season. He'll be making his 11th start. And, you know, his last 5 starts, he's posted a 2.52 ERA and, you know, just a 2.33 batting average. He's pitched very well. He has not pitched against Tampa this year as a starter. He did come in April 14th for 1 inning and gave up a couple of hits and no runs in that game down in Tampa, but in his career 0-1, and this will be his 2nd start. Let's check out the defense behind Bauer tonight. It is brought to you by Jeep, and it looks like this. Ramirez in left field, Naquin is in center, Chisenhall over in right, Uribe at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis is at second, Napoli at first, Jimenez doing the catching.
Ted Barrett, the crew chief, has the plate tonight. Gabe Morales at first, Angel Hernandez at second, Lance Barksdale down at third. And we're ready to go as Logan Forsythe stands in to start it off for Tampa. And Trevor Bauer rocks into the windup. First pitch a little bit high, ball 1. .75 degrees, our game time temperature. Clouds have moved into downtown Cleveland. It was just, I mean, you couldn't have scripted a better day to have a parade like we had this afternoon. Crystal clear skies. It was beautiful. Line drive, base hit in the left field for Forsythe. Just his 2nd hit in 9 at-bats in the series.
Well, Trevor fell behind his first 2 pitches out of the zone, and Forsythe gets a ball to his liking. He knew he was going to get a fastball. There it is. First hit of the game. You don't want to fall behind. 3-0. So he will start it off with a base hit.
Now to bring up Brad Miller. Miller, left-handed bat with power. 9 home runs on the season, including 1 in the series.
Yeah, hit a long one, 461 feet. in game number 1. Tampa, not a team that runs a lot. They have 25 stolen bases as a team. They've been caught 16 times. That's 11th in the league as far as stolen bases go. Top guy in stolen bases is on the disabled list when you look at their center fielder, Kevin Kiermaier.
Yeah, Kiermaier fractured his wrist diving for a ball earlier this year in the outfield, and that's a gold glove. And as I've told you in the series opener, the platinum gold glove winner is the top American League defender last year.
Yeah, that's quite an honor.
Bounce to short, could be 2. There's 1. Kipnis on the first, double play.
Well, I'm going to wait because you know they're going to check it. It was bang bang at first base.
Third double play of the series, turned by Cleveland.
It wasn't hit all that hard, so they had to turn it quickly, and we may have an appeal here. They're still waiting to see. You know,
that's it. No appeal coming.
Okay, double play.
Evan Longoria steps in, 2 for 8 in the series. One of his 2 hits was a home run, giving him 18 on the year. Longoria 2 off the league lead. Todd Frazier, Mark Trumbo began the day tied with 20. Backhanded by Lindor, perfect throw, and the inning comes to an end. The Indians are coming to bat when we come back. Frank Conant, Carlos Santana will lead it off. Then it's Jason Kipnis. Francisco Lindor, 4th best home batting average in the American League at 348. Hitting 3rd. Then Mike Napoli, Jose Ramirez, and Juan Uribe, who's homered in 4 straight games.
And tonight's Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher is going to be Chris Archer, who is 4-9 with a 4.60. First inning has been an issue for him this year. It's a 9.60 ERA in the first, averages 24 pitches. So we'll see how his command is early in this game.
Carlos Santana will lead it off. pitch a little bit high, ball 1. Offensively, the Indians are 8th in the American League in batting average. They are 7th in runs scored. Santana pulls it foul, and he broke his bat. They are 6th in doubles, 6th in triples, 8th in home runs. But at home, they're a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team in that they have played much better in terms of offensively here at Progressive Field this year.
Boy, they sure have. A 292 average at home compared to a 224 on the road. Almost 70 points difference. The home runs are about the same, 44 homers to 41 on the road. And after tonight's game, they'll have 35 at home, 35 on the road. And when it comes to games played.
And a run and a half more per game at home than on the road. 5.5 per contest here at home this year, and that's how you win 10 in a row. 2 balls, or make it 3 balls and a strike to count on Santana here. As I mentioned at the top of the telecast tonight, like a lot of pitchers, first inning is a telltale sign, and for Chris Archer, that's been the inning that has given him problems this year. 16 earned runs allowed in his 15 starts in the first inning.
I know, and he's been worse on the road than he is at home. Let's set the Rays defense for you behind Archer tonight. Dickerson in left, Jennings in center, Motter over in right, Longoria at third, Miller at short, Franklin is at second, Morrison first, Casale behind the plate.
Yeah, on the road, as you mentioned, in his 8 road starts, 12 runs in the first inning.
Yeah, comes out to a 13.50 ERA.
Now Jason Kipnis takes a strike.
I mean, Archer has great stuff. He has 103 strikeouts in his 86 innings and 38 walks now. But the key is getting it down.
Fly ball left, but out of play down the left field line.
We know how strikeouts are. Hey, they're nice to get, but you go through a lot of pitches. This guy has averaged over 113 pitches over his last 5 starts. He's thrown 565 pitches. So, you know, do you want to strike guys out? You'd rather get hitters out on 3 pitches or less if you could. Keeps you in the game a lot longer. And he's had a tough year compared to last year.
And as we've already seen in this series, Tampa Bay doesn't want to have to get into that bullpen any earlier than they would like to.
No siree. For Archer, his first 15 starts last year, he was 8-4 with a 2.08 ERA.
Kipnis drives one to deep center field. Desmond Jennings racing back, and it is gone. A home run. Jason Kipnis socks one to straightaway center field, and the Indians will play from in front as they lead it 2-0. Number 9 for Jason Kipnis.
Well, that was no cheapie. He hit that ball right on the nose. Center field, just a tad to right center, but over that 400-foot sign. Gets into the trees, and there it is. 2 runs on 1 hit. First 2 hitters of the game come in, plated by Kipnis. Give him 37 and 38 RBIs now on the year. First inning woes continue.
Isn't that something? You would think, Rick, with all of the data that is available this year, this day and age, and the metrics that are in place by every major league club now, they have to know that first inning problems that starters have, and what can you do about it, though, I guess, is the...
Well, sometimes it gets in your head, and, you know, it can become a lingering thing where you go out there and, you know, you're almost waiting for something to happen. Well, just look, everything is, you know, so far is about belt high.
Now, I remember there was a time, and this is going back quite a few years, but I remember that CC Sabathia had some first inning problems in his career with the Indians. And I mean, he tried a number of different things, and various pitching coaches, whether it was Dick Pohl when he first came up, or Carl Willis, who was with him for his great years here in Cleveland, trying different things to warm up. You know, while I'm in the bullpen, let's warm up harder than usual. Let's not warm up as hard, to try to figure out what's the best way so that when I hit the mound for that first pitch of the game, I'm not thinking about getting into the game. I'm already there.
Yeah, it takes time.
Keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Bauer Jimenez rhythm. And they've already gotten Archer early.
They answered the second one already. I know what you're saying, and I think every pitcher that steps on a big league mound, when they're out there and you're pitching for a number of years, you're going to have first inning issues. It just happens at times.
Indians already have 2 on the board, but they'd like to get more.
You know, for Archer, he's 0-4 in his career against the Indians, a team that drafted him back in 2006. But in 3 of the 4 starts, the Rays have never even put a run on the board for him. You know, so not to say he pitched bad, but hey, you need a little bit of support. And now, right now, you start the game out down 2-0 in the very first inning on the first 2 hitters. And you're thinking, uh-oh, he cannot afford to give up anymore. And then he just walked the next guy after the home run.
The Indians lost Archer to the Cubs in the Mark DeRosa deal back after the 2008 season, when he was just, at that point, he was only an A-ball, and he'd gone 4-8 that year in 27 starts with a 4.29 ERA for the Captains. He went to the Tampa Bay Rays in the Matt Garza deal. And by that time, he had progressed to Double-A. And then before long, he was a Triple-A, and then in the big leagues with Tampa. Napoli taps one slowly to short. Miller's only play at first base, 1 away. Lindor moves into scoring position. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Chris Archer, you know, this is a guy who was on his way to becoming a very good pitcher, and a lot of people said, hey, he's the man, he's the new ace in Tampa. But he was on his way to maybe being named to the All-Star team, maybe being the All-Star game starter a year ago. But he went into Kansas City and got his lunch handed to him by the Royals, and since then,
those were the numbers. Hasn't recovered. Has not recovered. And that's what this game is all about, is, you know, making adjustments. And I mean, you have to turn it around if you're going to succeed. If you're going to stay in the big leagues, you got to turn it around. But then again, he was maybe appointed the #1 starter there because there was no one else in line to earn it. After you lose a guy like David Price. And before Price left, it was James Shields that went to Kansas City.
Yep.
You know, so you lose a couple of guys at the front end of the rotation, and all of a sudden you're thrown up to the front, and it's not an easy thing to do.
Ground ball up the middle, and that's through. Jose Ramirez will drive home Lindor, and it's a 3-0 Cleveland lead. Ramirez with RBI number 26, and he has been one of the best hitters this year in the American League with runners in scoring position. Came into tonight batting .372, and he knocks in another.
Well, the only thing, there wasn't 2 outs, but you know, you look at it and you say that's his 26th RBI. But how many big RBIs has Ramirez had, you know, out of those 26? You expect him to have more, but as the situation goes up, he turns into a clutch hitter. So
21 of the 26 have come with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, it's something special.
Throw down, not in time. Ramirez has himself a steal. That's number 8 for Jose.
Legs feeling good today for Jose. Takes off on the very first pitch. Uribe swings, heads straight down, doesn't look back. That is a straight steal. So they've got a time and they know what they can do against Archer. And they are continuing to put the pressure early. Yeah, gets the hand in before the tag is applied.
Now Juan Uribe is on quite a roll. Homering in 4 straight games. And at his age, that's a rare feat. The last Indian at 37 years or older to homer in 4 straight games was Ellis Burks back in 2002.
Really? All right, we had him on a few weeks ago. I don't remember that, but he could hit him too.
Uribe goes down swinging.
Went after all the sliders right there.
Did. Now Andre hinted at it in his opening remarks that Juan Uribe was here early today, but he was here by himself.
He wasn't on the slider machine. I know that.
Well, he doesn't like hitting sliders, he's told. That's part of the problem.
He's told.
He only likes fastballs. I told him we got to stop swinging at sliders. But he told me, he's hit 4 home runs in 4 consecutive games. And I go, you shouldn't need to be here that early. He goes, no. When I'm swinging good, he goes, I want to take as many swings as I possibly can so I can keep it.
Well, you know what? He might hit one of those sliders if he makes a mistake with it. He's been hot, so he wants to swing at everything.
Lonnie Chisenhall 2 for 4 with a run batted in the first 2 games of the series, taking a strike. I guess everybody's different. I would think if you're on a roll, you'd want to back away and not do as much. Don't mess with what's going with my swing.
Everybody's different, you know. You know what? A lot of guys would think that way. I'm pretty good. I'm fine. Just let me get loose and let's go into a game.
Lonnie rolls one to second. Franklin throws him out. The inning is over, but not before the Indians jump Chris Archer for a 3 spot in the first. Jason Kipnis goes deep. Ramirez drives home another. 3-0 Indians. In the opening frame. And now we go to the second inning. 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Tampa. And Trevor Bauer's first pitch in there for a strike.
Well, Bauer's got to feel good because he hasn't been getting a lot of run support recently. That's why he's had a lot of no decisions. Been pitching well, so they drop a 3 spot on the board, and he can go out there and breathe a little easier now.
Just inside. 2 balls and a strike.
Trying to get a feel for that changeup early. He's been using that a lot. He's bringing that back. A little 2-seamer, changeup, curveball to go along with his 4-seamer.
Logan Morrison has 3 hits in his last 34 at bats. As if that's not bad enough, it gets worse when you consider that he only has 6 hits in his last 55 at bats, which gives him a 109 batting average essentially for the month of June.
Yeah, when you have your middle of the lineup struggling, and it's because a lot of guys are missing from that Tampa lineup, it's tough to hit because they can pitch around guys that try and stay hot.
Well, it's tough to hit when you get fielding like that on the other side. How about Trevor Bauer?
He snagged that like he knew it was coming. Watch how easy he made it look. One hopper right there to the glove. No big deal. PFP.
Desmond Jennings swings at the first pitch and pops it sky high. Lindor, the shortstop. 2 down. Our Kia in the driver's seat tonight. Trevor Bauer with Chris Jimenez as his battery mate.
Yeah, 9 starts. They've worked well together. Yeah. They really have. I mean, you don't see Bauer. There was times when Bauer, you know, would shake off and it would take him a while to get going, but it seems like these two work pretty well together. And Trevor Bauer, one of those starters, you hear us talk about shutdown innings a lot. You know, after the Indians have scored this year, he's had 9 opportunities and has not allowed an earned run. So he's been great, putting a 0 on that board after his team scores.
Foul the other way.
He's aiming at the man in blue. They've had a long day. Don't go that way.
Yeah, the Cleveland.
I wonder
police
how many
force
guys, and that they had to have help today. They had to have help.
And law enforcement departments from around the region that helped out did a fantastic job with the
no question.
crowd. I mean, we're talking over 1 million people on foot in downtown Cleveland, and everything was orderly and went smoothly.
Tip of the old cable cap way. They were terrific. And they had some people that had to widen the roads when they were trying to get through to just see what. I mean, we were all watching it all day long.
I was waiting for Charlton Heston to make an appearance.
Parting the seas.
I mean, they took a shot from Lakeside looking down 9th Street, and I was just sitting there thinking to myself, that is unbelievable.
Yeah, it was. The blimp had some great shots from high above.
Hey guys, I'm friends with some of these guys down here. They said they only had the highway patrol helping them and a couple sheriff's officers.
Really?
No kidding.
They just told me they could have used Arch and myself as barriers. Though.
Well,
I don't think that was a compliment.
No, that's okay, but they're probably right. They could have.
I told them we need a high pay scale to get us out there.
That's no kidding.
I just think too, not only today, but you go back to Sunday night when they won. And the city of Cleveland has celebrated first class all the way. Trevor Bauer mowing him down here in the second. They go 1-2-3, gets his first strikeout. 3-0 Cleveland.
MLB.com @bat app. You can stay connected all season with the radio broadcast, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Chris Gimenez leading off. The #8 hitter in the lineup takes a strike. Gimenez bounces one fair up the right field line. And Motter over to cut it off. So Gimenez aboard with a leadoff single.
He couldn't have rolled that ball by hand. And
he knows it too.
Yeah, he does. It was like a slow motion swing. You know, he sees the big breaking ball, but it was high. I think he wanted to try and hold up, and he hit it so late. But it was perfectly placed right down the line. They're playing him off the line, so he gets a nice base hit. So leading off the second with a single.
Tyler Naquin. Naquin went to the plate 4 times last night, but only had 1 official at bat. A couple of sacrifice bunts, and he walked. And finally, his last time up in the 8th inning, he struck out. Outside with it, 2-0. And Naquin fouls this one off. 2-1. Throw it right by him, 2-2. Chased one and got a piece of it somehow. That ball was headed for the dirt. But with 2 strikes trying to protect him, he did just that.
Well, we've seen Naquin a number of times this year pick balls up off the ground and get base hits with him, and even hit one for a home run.
That time he chased it and he couldn't get a piece of it. Second strikeout for Archer. And that was clearly a case where he saw him expanding his own strike zone and said, I'm just going to keep throwing until you chase one that you can't get to. And the injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Just read a story where the Cubs saying it might take a couple of players to replace Dexter Fowler while he's absent.
He was off to a very good start for the Cubs.
And he was a guy a lot of people didn't think that they'd have this year.
Well, he was already almost signed, sealed, and delivered in Baltimore, and then all of a sudden turned around and went back and joined the Cubs at the last minute.
1, misses low.
Tampa, after this game tonight, will head off to Baltimore. They're off tomorrow as well, and they'll play 4 games in Baltimore. They have a wraparound that'll end on Monday.
Good breaking ball. That's in for a strike.
You know, and you talk about timing. That before they came here, they ended up playing the San Francisco Giants that swept them down in Tampa, the first place team. They come here to meet the Indians, the first place team, and lost the first 2 out of 3 and losing here. Then they go to Baltimore for 4, another first place team. So
that's what you call a tough spot in the schedule.
Yes, it is, especially when you're getting injuries.
Santana chased a bad ball there, pops it to left. Dickerson has it 2 down. So Jimenez still at first after the leadoff single, and now Jason Kipnis coming in. First time up, Kipnis got a pitch right down the chute, and he destroyed it to straightaway center field. A line shot. Hit it out to the big part of the yard, 409 feet, the estimated distance. He hit it right over the 400-foot mark. Funny how sometimes early in the season you'll see a ball hit out to center or just to the left of center, and you think, man,
dies.
It's got to be hard to hit a ball out of this park.
It is. It
then
is.
You get the warmer weather, and guys start to find the barrel a little bit more often. And
well, that's the difference. That, well, we'll talk about it later.
Kipnis grounds out, inning over. 1-2-3 after the leadoff single. It's still 3-0 Cleveland. Lead it here as we go to the third. Bottom third of the Tampa lineup. Coming up here, Taylor Motter will lead it off.
I want to send along happy birthday wishes tonight to Mary Reeves of Mansfield, turning 93 today. Mary, a very happy birthday to you.
All right, Mary. Remember yesterday we were talking about Motter, and there was a play in the outfield. I don't remember specifically.
It was in left field. He didn't call off the shortstop.
Bingo. And I told you that he hadn't spent a lot of time out there. He was kind of learning.
Yes.
Yesterday was his first career outfield start.
There you go.
So understandable in that context.
Right. Where you're not sure, you may let that shortstop who normally comes out catch it. Yeah, that makes sense now.
chops one off the plate. Uribe will have to wait for it. Unloads in a hurry, and he got it.
Do you see how quickly he got his feet set? He was getting ready to throw the ball before that ball was even in his glove, and when it hit his glove, he just deflected it to first base. Watch his footwork. He's rushing, boom, boom, and he got him set. He just gets the ball, and it's gone. It's all in the footwork right there. Nicely done. Quick, short jab steps to get himself set to make the quick throw to first. Well done.
You know, the guys who remember Uribe from his early days in the White Sox system, even back to when he played shortstop, they all say that when the ball was hit to him, you were out because he had a strong and very accurate arm. He still has an accurate arm.
Hey, I remember him playing shortstop. He was before Alexei Ramirez, who played there, what, 9 years or something like that. He played there a long time with him. But, yeah, he was a good shortstop.
Was he, I'm trying to remember, Arch, did he come right after Jose Valentin?
Yeah, well, he was there in 05. He played short for him there then, didn't he? In the World Championship years.
I think he was already third by then.
I thought they had Joe Creedy playing third base.
Gosh, I can't remember.
Yeah, Creedy.
Creedy was at third.
Yeah,
on
Creedy
that 05 team.
And Uribe was at short.
Okay. Now the 2-2. And a strike on the inside corner brings him up 2 away.
Let's make this our Circle K strikeout tonight. It's a little comeback fastball. Beautiful on the inside edge. Watch the movement, little two-seamer, and locked him up.
Kurt Casale, the catcher, batting ninth, takes the fastball up and in. Casale hitting 168 with 6 homers, 17 driven in on the year, as you see there. Bounces this one up the gut. Backhanded by Kipnis. Long throw on the money.
Nice.
Well played by Jason Kipnis. Up the middle, and the jump stop, spin and throw all in one motion. And a perfect feed to first. The inning is over. Cold one to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here in the home half of the third inning, Francisco Lindor, Mike Napoli, and Jose Ramirez due up for Cleveland. Lindor begins the night 8th in the American League in batting average. Kansas City lost earlier today to the Mets 4-3. A chance for the Indians to pick up another full game in the standings. They began the day with a 2-game lead. Upstairs. White Sox trying to sweep Boston, unless they're playing a 4-gamer. That series over tonight?
They do. No, they have a 4-gamer.
Okay, so they've won the first 2. They lead 1-0 right now. That ball's hit to field where Motter makes the catch. 1 down. Here's our AT&T high-speed replay.
Catches that ball on the shortstop side. That's a nice all-one motion. Gets rid of it quickly, right? Very accurate. Makes a good throw. Nice play by Kip right there to end the inning.
You know, watching that play, something you and I have talked about, reminds me of something that LeBron James said on the stage today. That fans, when they come to the ballpark, they see what the players do right before the game, when they come out on the floor to shoot a few jump shots, get ready to play the game. Same thing in baseball. Fans may show up, they might see a little batting practice, but LeBron said there's so much work that goes in when the cameras aren't rolling, when people aren't around. And I think of the work that Kipnis has put in this year specifically early in the afternoon.
Yep.
About the time you and I arrive.
2:30.
But there's not cameras rolling, but he's been out working with Mike Sarabach trying to become a better defender.
Yeah.
A lot of guys take swings and work on their bats, but you've got to work on both sides of the ball.
No question about it. I think his hands are a lot better this year than they were last year. Much softer. He's done a nice job.
Napoli pops one high and foul.
As all the infielders get their work. Hey, we had one of the worst defenses last year until like June, when Lindor got called up and he sort of solidified the shortstop role. And you know, I'll tell you what, the infield defense much better. Now you have Napoli at first this year, where Santana's DH, and he's a better first baseman.
Pitch is outside, a full count. Now the payoff. Bounce to third. Longoria throws him out, 2 down.
Well, tomorrow the Indians are going to embark on a 10-game road trip starting in Detroit, and we are going to come home. We'll end up playing Detroit when we get back, but on July 4th, pregame from 5 to 7 out in the right field district. You can enjoy $2 beers, Budweiser cans, plus 15,000 fans are going to receive a replica batting practice pullover. Just go to Indians.com to get your tickets.
Boy, that just seems crazy that here we are.
We're coming back July
on the
3rd.
22nd of June, and we won't be back again until the 4th of July.
Yeah, see you July. Yeah, it's no doubt. That's why I said this is their 35th home game, and we have 35 road. It seems like we've been on the road a heck of a lot more than we've been home.
It really does. I don't know.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
No, it's not just you. It does seem like it, because, well, part of it is too, Arch. You go out for 10 games, you come home for 6, and then right back out for 10 again.
Right.
Ramirez hits one hard, deep left center, back to the wall, and it's off the fence. Hit the out-of-town scoreboard, and Jose Ramirez is 2 for 2.
Hit it a long way. He got underneath that ball, but got a good piece of it to go to the left center field for his 17th double. He leads the Indians in doubles. And he got a high fastball, and he gets underneath it and clipped it perfectly. And it'll go halfway off the wall out at 370 in left center field. So he's in scoring position now with 2 outs.
Arch, yesterday he was 0 for 2 to start the game.
I remember.
He came up that 3rd time, and I just said it's one of the only times all year I can remember saying he's only, 4 for his last whatever. He's hitting
right
over his last 6 games. Since then, he's 4 for 4.
Well, he loves hitting here. I mean, he came in hitting over 350 in this ballpark. His problems have been on the road, so he wants to end it on a high note, and he's doing just that.
Juan Uribe took a fastball, but on the outside corner for a strike. Pulled off the slider. 0-2. Our great clip of the game brought to you by Great Clips, and Juan Uribe 4 straight games with a home run. He'd never hit a home run in 3 straight games before this year. Now he's done it in 4 in a row. And that one last night,
did you see that
there's
picture?
A great shot.
That picture with the umpire and
telling you that should win an award somewhere this
I'm
year.
telling you, that was a great picture. Yes, it was. Double-headed monster.
Swung and missed. It's in the dirt, and they'll throw him out. 3 complete from Progressive Field. It remains Cleveland 3, Tampa 0. Up, and here's a sample of the best of what we heard.
Congratulations. Everything good? The budget's mine. Thank you. Thank you. How you doing? Everything good? How you doing? ¿Cómo está bien? Boom. Vámonos. Oh, yeah, he gone. There you go. Watch it throw, watch it throw, watch it throw. That's Harvey. Sour ball.
The microphones. Not many people, guys, like to wear them, though. You know, it's tough to be yourself when you have one on you. You know it.
I think it would have been easier maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but now, boy, there's just you say one thing that might be misconstrued, and then all of a sudden, if it accidentally gets out somewhere, then there's just, I think that's part of it. Guys they're a little gun shy now.
Yeah,
because
you can understand that.
But as I said to you yesterday, NFL Films has made it an instant classic, a masterpiece of how they mic players up and use those to promote the game. And I think it would be great if we could get.
Well, if you get it mic'd up, you probably, if you could find stuff you could use, the good stuff would be great.
The problem is, in baseball, it's hard to hide a microphone. In there for a strike, and that's it for Logan Forsythe. 3rd K for Trevor Bauer. I mean, in football, you bury it in the pads. Nobody knows you're wearing it. In baseball, it's a little hard to
that's true.
Microphone, everybody can see it.
There's one of the good curveballs from Trevor. It's been a very good pitch for him. He's always had a, excuse me, a very good curveball.
Well, and I think the important thing is to use it. But, you know, Jensen made a great point. He was talking with Brian Anderson, and what Josh Tomlin is doing. You know, you don't see guys using the sequence in pitching anymore because guys have such great arms. You guys got just power stuff, just blow you away. But Josh Tomlin's a little old school in that he'll use a pitch to set up another pitch. And when you've got a great curveball like Trevor Bauer, that's something you can use as a weapon.
Oh, well, no question. I think the curveball is coming back. You know how everybody tries to throw the cutter. They fall in love with the cutter, end up losing something off their fastball. Curveball is really, I think, a good pitch. Tomlin's got a great curveball that he uses. He's a pitcher.
Yep.
I mean, he goes out there and, yes, every pitch has a purpose.
Bauer's going to the bag. Napoli with the flip. Nice. They got him. Boy, that was well executed.
And you know what? Bauer's footwork was spectacular, too. And he gave him the quick flip, and he did not have to look for the base. He picked it up about 3 or 4 steps before he got there. Watch, he's going to look at the base. There it is. He took his eye off of it, and he knew right where it was, and it was a great flip to lead him walking right into the bag. He knows where the bag is right now. There's the throw, and watch the foot come down right on it. Beautiful. The key was him getting over there in a hurry where he can make that quick adjustment.
You know, watching that play too, especially on that great replay angle that we had, it's a great lesson for young pitchers that are covering the bag in that instance to go for the inside corner. You don't want to get your foot on that bag or in the middle.
Nope.
That's when injuries have to get stomped on.
And
Bauer was perfectly on the inside corner.
Another key for the young pitchers: get over there fast enough. Don't try and time it as you see the ball. Get yourself to first base and then make an adjustment.
Oh, another quick inning for Trevor Bauer, mowing him down here tonight. 11 in a row retired by the Indians right-handed. Of baseball, Johnny Cueto last night for San Francisco went 6 2/3, gave up 1 run and 4 hits, and a Giants blowout win over the Pirates. Different story tonight. Jeff Samardzija is getting his lunch handed to him by the Pirates. John Jaso has gone deep. Polanco has gone deep. Kong has gone deep. 6-1 Pirates there in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, well, they got rocked yesterday. They figured they'd better bring their offense today.
Lonnie Chisenhall ropes one into the right field corner. He's on his way to second base. And Motter's throw cut off. A leadoff stand-up double for Lonnie Chisenhall.
That'll be a good point in time to, you know, middle innings, get some more runs. Add on to that 3-0 lead. Here's Lonnie getting the hands through on a nice inside fastball. Drilled it down into the corner. They were playing him well off the line. You can see right there, a few steps over towards right center field. So he pulls it down into the corner. Chisenhall gets his 9th double.
Chris Jimenez, base hit his first time up. And it gets by Archer, cut off by Miller. He spins and throws out Jimenez. One down, but he moves Chisenhall to third base, so it's a very productive out for Chris.
Well, Archer wanted to get this ball. Chisenhall might have been in trouble if Archer caught it, but he decided to get off of it and you know, and go to third base. Archer couldn't get to the ball. It gets up the middle, so he gets his job done. Now the infield will have to come in for Tampa to try and cut off the run at home plate.
Tyler Naquin struck out his only time up. And a nice backhander by Casale, and you could just see his reaction as if to say, holy mackerel, please don't do that again. Because when you've got a runner at third base, you don't want to have to make a do or die stop behind the plate. Just watch his reaction to this.
Yeah, he spikes that one. And, you know, normally that looked like a fastball. I could be wrong, but you know, normally you don't spike fastballs.
That's a good off-speed pitch, and it's 1-1.
Not sure that first one was a fastball, but he was able to strike out Naquin in the dirt in his first at bat. But to go there on first pitch, you don't want to.
Oh, this time Archer knocks it down, and his only play is at first as he quickly looked Chisenhall back.
Boy,
well, the Jimenez ball got by him. This one did not.
That ball caught him. He went down. He just knew another one was coming up the middle. And watch Naquin. He was just trying to put it in play. He was fooled on it, but he had really no choice. If he doesn't catch it, it hits him in the leg. But he catches it. Watch him go down, and there it is. A one-hopper, self-protection. Catches it and goes to first. Things speed up on you a little bit when you're 50 feet away from the hitter.
But you said something to me before about that play. It's the in-between hit ball that gives pitchers trouble because they expect it to come back quickly.
And it never does.
Yeah, they almost end up double clutching.
Yeah, because they expect that it's going to be harder than what it is.
So sometimes
it's better off when it's hard because you just react.
Yeah. Tough break there for Naquin.
Well, and he reacted well because if he didn't, it would have hit him in the leg and that would have hurt.
Another block by Casale. Boy, he's done a nice job. That's twice the Indians could have scored in this inning on a ball in the dirt, but he's blocked them both.
Well, he had to go down there, and that might have been a hard slider. Hard slider.
Like he's calling for it again. And Santana fouls that one off. You got to love that though from a catcher. You just spike the slider in the dirt. He blocks it and he does throw it again.
Yeah, well, you have to do it. That's his best pitch probably, where he gets a lot of the swings and misses.
changeup coming here.
Got that right. Sure was. That was a changeup.
So a 2-ball, 2-strike count for Santana with a runner at third, 2 down here in the fourth. All 3 runs came in the first inning. A 2-run homer by Jason Kipnis, and then an RBI single by Ramirez, plated Francisco Lindor. 2 of the 3 runs that scored in the first both reached via the walk. Santana jolts it right center field. Base hit, it will go to the wall. Chisenhall scores. Santana into second with a 2-out RBI double. An all-out diving effort by Taylor Motter goes for naught as Santana extends the Indians' lead to 4-0.
Yeah, 2-out base hit. He hung him a slider, and he hits it. And I'll tell you, it's really, he left it away, and that's where Santana likes it. Motter makes a beautiful effort. Watch him, he dives. I thought he was going to catch the ball. He was about a half a step from catching that ball. It gets by him, it gets into the gap. It's the 3rd double of the evening, and it makes it a 4-0 Tribe lead.
How about the reaction of Chris Archer? Almost as soon as he let go of the ball, he threw his hands. Watch Archer, watch his hands go right to his hat almost instantly. Oh,
no. He knew it. It was a bad pitch, but it stayed in the ballpark.
Spiked another one, and this one does go to the backstop. And down to third base goes Santana on a wild pitch. Casale's probably saying, look, I'm not a miracle worker.
Well, no, fastballs you just don't expect down there. He has been all over the place.
That one didn't miss by much. And now Chris Archer, who after he got 2 outs probably thought, well, maybe I can get out of this, keep it a 3-0 game, but he gives up the 2-out hit. Kipnis bounces one to second. Franklin flips it to first. The inning is over, but the Indians tack on a run. And through 4, it's Cleveland 4, Tampa nothing. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. Four 0, the Indians lead it. 5th inning here at Progressive Field. And Trevor Bauer will face 4, 5, and 6 in the Tampa lineup. He's faced the minimum through 4. Line to third, and Uribe with a nice diving stab.
He had time to take about a half a step, and that ball was just lined right into his glove. I thought it was hit a little bit higher than where he caught it at, but he did not have much time for a reaction. Fell to one knee and make the catch. But one pitch, one out.
And up comes Desmond Jennings, who popped up on the infield his only time up. Boy, Arch, it seems like the St. Louis Cardinals threw a wet blanket on the Chicago Cubs.
They did. They did.
Now they still got a huge lead in the division.
But you know, it's something St. Louis was scuffling going into that series, so maybe that's something they needed to get them going.
Bouncing ball to third. Uribe can set and throws him out, 2 down. And maybe a not so subtle "don't forget about us" message from the Cardinals. Here's our Lowe's home field advantage. Now, these aren't necessarily home field numbers, but this is why the Indians are playing well, in particular in the month of June.
Well, God, you love it.
Pitching staff has been
Pitchers have been, they've been feeding off each other. They've been very good for a long time, and you know, the offense, for the most part, they're getting that lead early and then adding on, and when they don't score early, they're scoring late from the 7th inning on.
And you know, I don't think we've really pointed it out, but you have to give credit where it's due. And so for Mickey Callaway and Jason Beret and all the guys that are involved with that pitching staff, look, they were out without Carrasco for about 5 weeks. So they had to sort of piece this thing together while he was gone. Bauer didn't start the season in the rotation, so he's migrated from the bullpen.
Right.
And you know, Cody Anderson up and down. They've been able to keep it together, even without having all 5 guys. And not all 5 were firing on all cylinders. You know, Corey had some rough starts early on.
Well, it takes a while to get it going. We always say, coming out of spring training, it doesn't matter. Right? He got it.
Wow, Corey. Bauer with another phenomenal 1-2-3 inning as he strikes out his 4th of the night.
Field or the new drink rails out and left with the district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio. District tickets are only $13, and that includes your first drink as well. So go to Indians.com and get your ticket.
Francisco Lindor with a bouncing ball to first. Morrison flags it down, and a good feed to Chris Archer for out number 1. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. In the first inning, after a walk to Carlos Santana, Jason Kipnis made it 2-0 Cleveland. 3 batters later, Jose Ramirez with an RBI single knocked in Lindor. And then Carlos Santana with a 2-out RBI double in the 4th. Made it 4-0.
Bauer is, I mean, he's still under 50 pitches, I think.
He's retired 14 in a row, and the only batter to reach was the first hitter of the game. And he was erased on a double play, and that's been that so far.
That's right, it was a 2-0 base hit.
Mike Napoli, a couple of ground ball outs, started the night 6th in the American League with 49 runs batted in. He went around. That's strikeout number 4 for Archer. 2 down in the 5th. Baseball returns Saturday with a game you can see only on FS1 when the Padres take on the Reds at 3:30. Then it's baseball night in America. Astros Royals at 7 on your local Fox station, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. How about the Padres beating the Orioles at their own game last night, 10-7?
Yeah.
Didn't see that one coming.
No, it's amazing when you see teams and they don't play each other a whole lot, and you think one team's going to win, and then the next thing you know, no, sorry about that. It should be our turn next year to go to the West. National League West for interleague play. We were in the Central last year.
Yeah.
We're in the East this year, so. Speaking of San Diego, I'm thinking we haven't been out there in years, so
forever.
we may be out there.
Yeah.
That's where the All-Star game is this year.
Seems like we haven't been to Colorado for a while now.
Exactly,
either.
those 2 places. You're right.
Arch, I don't think we've been to Colorado since '05. I think it's been that long.
Yeah, it could be.
Murph said we were there in '08. I have no recollection of that.
Yeah. He was up skiing in Vail.
The 2-2 was low at a full count. Oh, wait.
That's still a long time, and they've been here a few times since. But you never know how the schedule falls.
No. Payoff pitch. Out of play. Ramirez rockets another ball deep left center, but Jennings had him shaded that way, and the Indians go in order. 5 complete. Indians on top of the Rays 4-0. 6th inning. And Trevor Bauer has the 7, 8, 9 spots. And his Tampa lineup, Motter looks at a pitch up high, ball 1. Ground ball to short, backhanded by Lindor. And his throw is in plenty of time, 1 down. Let's go down to Andre with a little insight on the Indians starters and how they are once again starting to feed off of each other.
Yes, they are actually feeding off of each other, but this is something that Mickey Callaway and Terry Francona wanted from the beginning of the season, for these guys to push each other, to make each other better. And Mickey always tells me, once 2 guys get going, usually they push themselves and it goes all the way through the rotation, and we've seen that. One of the things they've done this season is they watch each other's sides and bullpens. And Terry Francona told me today, he goes, I think what happens, he goes, when more guys show up, it makes guys bring it when they don't want to bring it on their off days. He loves the competition they have between themselves.
Yeah.
And he goes, another thing that's happened, and we knew this happened a couple weeks ago with Anderson. Corey Kluber was able to pick up something when we were in Minnesota. He says, hey, something doesn't look right about, the way he's going through his windup. They went and looked at video in between innings, and they were able to help him. So it's a competitive thing, but it also is almost a coaching thing that's helped all these starters kind of help one another through their starts.
The Cardinals starters, that's the first we heard about that with Wainwright and those guys, making them go out and watch starters throw in between their starts. Get to know each other. Hey, you're a unit. There's nothing wrong with that. I like the idea, the competition, the camaraderie, everything it is. It makes you tighter as a unit.
Strike 3 called. Bauer painting the outside corner, and that's his 5th strikeout tonight. And there are 2 down in the 6th inning.
Well, he's just going to make a nasty fastball. Look at that glove. It was a dart to the outside corner at 94. He gets the call. And there's the numbers from the starters.
Look at the ERAs. Forget the records.
Yeah, right. I'll tell you what they have done, too. They've taken a lot of pressure off that bullpen. The deeper they go into games, the less pressure and the less outs the bullpen's got to get. And the bullpen has struggled at times, but when you don't need many innings to come out of that bullpen, the starters take a lot of pressure off those guys out there. And then again, they're going to run into times throughout the course of the year now, the rest of the way, where that bullpen will end up picking up the starters when they only go, 3, 4 innings. So it goes both ways.
Way out in front. A ball and 2 strikes on Casale.
Boy, he's mixing and matching beautifully today. Changing speeds, changing eye levels, in and out, up and down.
And a ground ball to first. Napoli can't come up with it cleanly. And the Rays have a base runner after 16 straight retired by Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, that ball, it looked like Napoli let it get a little too deep on him. He went down on both knees to try and just keep it in front of him when it just got under the legs. I think it got deep. He goes down into that crouch like he always does, but the glove was not out front to catch it. Let it get a little too deep and deflects off. That'll be an error.
Beat him 5-hole.
Yes, it did.
So a 2-out base runner now for Logan Forsythe. And Scott Atchison and I were talking briefly just the other day, and we talked about that very scenario. How as a pitcher sometimes you have 2 outs in an inning, you see a ball, and already in your mind you think, oh good, I'm out of it. That's the 3rd out.
Right.
And the play didn't get made. And he said the hardest thing for a pitcher is that sometimes you mentally, when you see that ball, you shut it off.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, now I've got to turn it back on again. And so that's why sometimes you see a pitcher, if you don't get that out, maybe it leads to another hit or potentially something more than that.
Hopefully no more than that. Where it comes around and it hurts you. That times where you have to pick that defense up. You know, and he was on cruise control, and that was really an easy play for Napoli.
That's a great pitch. He's had it all night long when he's wanted it.
He sure has.
Forsythe has the only hit. That was back in the first. He was then erased on a double play. And up until the error by Napoli, Bauer had faced the minimum number of hitters. Now the 1-2. Swung on and missed. He chased one in the other batter's box. Bauer with his 6th strikeout of the night. A one-hit shutout, and the Indians lead it 4-0. What a night it's been after a day that has been over 50 years in the making. And I say over 50 years because it's been over 50 years since the Indians, or since Cleveland last had a World Championship team. And it's also been over 50 years and quite a bit longer since we last had a parade, a World Championship parade. You got to go back to the 48 Indians since they last had a World Championship parade in downtown Cleveland. And boy, today was just, I think you may have envisioned what you think it's going to be like. But after what we saw today, I don't think anyone quite could have imagined the outpouring of support that invaded downtown Cleveland.
It came from everywhere.
And yeah, and you know, I heard throughout the coverage, and by the way, hats off to all the guys from Fox Sports Ohio that participated in the coverage today. They did an outstanding job. It's not an easy event to cover. I mean, these guys cover sporting events like us. That's not a sporting event.
Right, that's true.
That's a whole different.
And they were down here by what, 6 in the morning? I mean,
5, I think.
Yeah, 5.
Jeff Phelps, Austin Carr, Campy Russell, Alley. They just did it.
And the crew. Now the crew was here by 2. That was crew call.
Yep.
At 2 o'clock in the morning. So how about that?
Ashley Collins, Fred,
I think they're all back sleeping by now.
They probably are taking a little nap.
Don't blame them.
Either that or they're still down there on the mall partying.
But it was really fun to watch.
But one of the things, and Dan Sevic's doing double duty. He directed the show that was on Fox Sports Ohio. They were on the air for almost 6 solid hours. And then he walked down the street, jumped in the truck, and he's doing the game tonight. So, Dan, I don't know how you're doing it, but great job.
That's all right.
Pal.
Beers are on us after the game. Oh, you're going to bed?
He'll have one and be passed out. But I heard along the parade route today that there were people from all over the country that flew in just to be here for this, which is pretty cool.
Saw the fireworks to end it down there at what was it, Mall C down there, and boy, it went on for about a minute, didn't it? A minute or two.
1-2 to Chisenhall, fouls it off. Hey, by the way, we've got a anniversary wish to go out today. Frank and Connie Mayer celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary.
Well, congratulations.
Another 1-2 again, and this time it's in the dirt. Lonnie doubled to lead off that 4th inning. Led to the last run of this game. And Archer expands the strike zone with 2 strikes to get him. His 5th K. 2 down here in the 6th. If you weren't around or didn't see the coverage, just look at all of those people. And these were only the people that were on the mall for the rally after the parade concluded. And they were, I don't know, 25, 30 deep all along the parade route, which started on the other side of the arena. It went down Ontario Street towards the highway.
To Carnegie.
To Carnegie in front of the ballpark.
To
and then
9th.
Down 9th Street all the way to Lakeside. And then it culminated with the party on the mall. And boy, there were just so many people that it took forever for the cars to get through to the rally site.
I'm sure it was a long day for a lot of people, but a very enjoyable day.
Yeah, I heard, I think it was Kevin Love when he was interviewed by Allie along the parade route. He said, you know, it's taken a long time. But he said, but I don't care. I don't want it to end.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, you wait for something like that. Who cares if it takes long?
Exactly. All day, all night.
It's the only kind of traffic you don't mind being stuck in. One pitch. Jimenez puts one in the air to center. Jennings jogs over into the gap, makes the play. And now Chris Archer set down 7 in a row. Through 6, it's Cleveland 4, Tampa nothing. Indians baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. By Ford, built Ford tough. And by Subway, fresh is what we do. Cleveland with a 4-0 lead over Tampa. And now we roll on to the 7th inning. Brad Miller, Evan Longoria, Logan Morrison do up the 2, 3, and 4 spots for Tampa. out of play. Pulls that foul. Tampa has their bullpen busy. Indians pen is quiet. Trevor Bauer, as you see there, still not even at the 70 pitch mark here in the 7th inning. In the dirt. Just a little bit low.
That was a good changeup. He didn't get the chase though. It is a little bit. You figure, boy, this is close enough. You get a swing, but no sir, he didn't offer.
Hard right field line foul.
Well, I'll tell you, you get a look at it, and boy, it did miss by much. About a foot.
Really close, yeah.
He hit that ball right on the nose. Not too many pitches have been hit like that off Trevor tonight. That one, though, is foul.
And a 3-2 foul back. Again, if you join us late, the Royals lost earlier today 4-3 to the Mets. Tribe with a chance to add another game to their lead in the division. It's the first walk issued by Trevor Bauer and only the 3rd base runner tonight for Tampa. Now 2.5 games now, the lead, and the Indians can make that a full 3 if they hold on and win here tonight. Detroit is winning at home over Seattle 4-1. They're in the 5th. And at last check, the Red Sox were up on Chicago. I think it was 4-1 at last look. And the 0-1 pitch. High fly ball. So left field near the line. It's playable. Ramirez makes the grab. 1 down. 4-2 Boston, by the way, over Chicago. They're in the 5th.
All right, gotcha. Trevor Bauer tonight, 6 strikeouts on the evening. He's located it beautifully. Nice little comeback fastball there. A good slow hook. He's mixed in his changeup. There's another curveball. Dotted the outside corner. He has been fun to watch. He's walked 1. Only 3 guys have been on base all night long. He's allowed 1 hit. Boy, he's following Kluber's lead and pitching even better. Last night, I think, would they have 3 or 4 shattered bats off Corey Kluber?
It was at least 3, but I think there was maybe another one.
Yeah, there was some subtle ones. Maybe not the explosions.
Right. There's a line drive right field near the corner. Miller on his way to 3rd, and he'll be held there. And the double by Morrison has 2 runners in scoring position now for Tampa, with 1 out in the inning. And so all of a sudden, the Rays mount a rally.
Well, you get a guy on there. There's a line drive right past Napoli, gets to the wall. Chisenhall going to go to second base. They couldn't send the runner because you're down 4 runs. You can't take a chance, even though that ball comes in. Look where Lindor's floating right there. Gets the ball at second. And the first thing he checked, Miller rounding 3rd.
So the official bat count last night, there were 3 exploded bats. There were 7 broken in all.
No kidding. Yeah. All right.
Right now, though, Trevor Bauer thinking about damage control. He's got a 4-run lead. He's got 1 out. Desmond Jennings at the plate, and he's 0 for 2. And a big curveball misses. And he's not chasing.
Well, here's a situation where you don't try and be a hero and go for all strikeouts. You want to get an out. If you give up a ground ball or a pop up and they get a run, okay. You want to trade your outs here. You're in the 7th inning. But if you get to that opportunity and you get them buried in the count, then you go for that punch out. That was a nice pitch there, a little slider.
Oh, that was a fastball that Jennings, all he could do was admire it.
Well, yeah, but people are thinking, boy, what are you looking for in that count? You got a man on base, but he went right at him. They wanted it inside. That ball pretty much went right down the middle. He had a good pitch to hit, and he couldn't pull the trigger unless he was looking for a breaking ball. But that was not where Jimenez wanted it.
Big curveball, and he struck him out with it.
Nice.
Boy, that's something how that works out. He didn't chase it on the first pitch of the at-bat, but with 2 strikes, he had to get after it, and he couldn't catch up to it.
Well, let's watch the sequence here. There's the first one. He doesn't have to go after that on the first pitch, but then a little cutter away, and then here comes a nice fastball. That's the one he wanted, but he let it go by, and then he swings at the curveball. You know, when you got to 2, he was going for the kill, and he's got a chance to get out of it now. Keep it a 0s on the board.
7th strikeout of the night for Bauer. And he has already struck out Corey Dickerson twice tonight. Fastball misses outside. Dickerson batting under 200, as you see right there, but he has hit a dozen home runs.
Yeah, you find his zone. He's got that uppercut. He has good power, and he can get into one. You just don't want to make a mistake with him.
And a foul back evens the count. Brad Miller, who walked to lead off the inning, he's at 3rd. Logan Morrison, who doubled, is at 2nd. Well, right now, the only thing Trevor Bauer is focused on is Corey Dickerson. And a ground ball perfectly placed in the hole. What a stop by Lindor, but no play. Although he does have him at 3rd. And Uribe, oh, he tagged him out. The inning's over. How do you like that? The Rays get on the board, but a boneheaded base running mistake by Logan Morrison takes the Rays right out of the inning. And a heads-up play by Lindor, and Uribe end the top half of the 7th. 4-1, the Indians lead it. Heading out of the bottom of the 7th. And the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made by Tampa manager Kevin Cash. After Chris Archer went 6 innings tonight, and he allowed 4 runs, 3 in the first. Matt Andriese is the new pitcher. But something we talked about right out of the gate at the very top of the telecast. You know, I mentioned that first inning problems for Chris Archer. He'd given up 16 runs in his 15 starts in the first inning, and he gives up 3 more tonight.
Yeah, he did. You're right. They jumped him early, and again now, we told you he's 0-4 coming into this game against the Indians, and 3 out of those 4 losses they didn't get a run on the board, and they just barely got their first one. And they had an opportunity for more, but a great play and a bad base running mistake, and they get out of it. They can only get the 1.
Tyler Naquin lines a ball toward left, and it gets by Corey Dickerson. Goes to the wall, and Naquin's in the second base with a leadoff double.
Well, that ball hit very hard off the bat of Tyler. It shoots by, and that's a 4th double for the Indians. And he's going to go to his left, and that ball should be slicing back to him, but it got by him before you know it. So the first man, a double. Ball shot by him. 7 hits now for the Tribe.
Going to bring up Carlos Santana, who has walked and scored. He has doubled and driven in a run. This is something they've done a pretty decent job of too on this homestand, is responding. You know, when the other team has scored, the offense has been able to come back and get the runs right back.
And we're getting into the Indians part of the ball game, 7 through 9. They've had a great homestand in that area and in their 10-game winning streak.
That was right down Broadway. The 1-1. Curveball pulls it foul.
His last at bat, a 2-out double, give the Indians their 4th run of the ball game.
Good fastball from Andriese, and Santana couldn't quite catch up. He chops it in the hole. There's nobody home.
How about that?
Naquin will score. The Indians get the run right back as Carlos Santana just bounced one through the hole with the shift on and picks up his 2nd RBI of the night.
See how simple it can be. Well, look at him with the shift on. You can hit a high hopper. Two hopper to get through. Get yourself an RBI if you just hit the ball that way, especially with a runner in scoring position. His 2nd straight hit with an RBI makes it a 5-1 game, so they come right back. They respond, and another run in the 7th inning.
Now my question to you is, a lot of times when we see hitters beat the shift like that, we say, well, that's a mistake by the pitcher because he gave him a pitch that enabled him to hit it the other way into the hole over there. But is that a pitch that's intended to get him to roll over on it? And yet this time for some reason he didn't?
I could be. I would try to hit it that way all the time if I'm a guy that they shift on. If they're giving you a hole like that, you see you don't have to hit it that hard, and you can have the bat control to do that. I got to see the pitch. Let me see. Change up away. Yeah, they want him to roll over on it, but you know what? You don't try to pull it. Just make contact with it and stay in the middle of the field. That's basically what you're doing.
Seems too simple.
It is simple.
Oh, what a jump by Santana. And he's safe. Carlos picks up his 4th stolen base on the year.
Well, they're not paying attention to him now. 5-1. He just takes off when they're least expecting it.
Still might get a challenge. This ended up being a close play. Santana started his slide very early.
Yeah, it was close. I don't know if they want to challenge it.
Oh, he's out.
Well, they don't want to challenge it.
Wow.
He said no.
Okay. Definitely looked like they had a pretty good case on a challenge there, but Kevin Cash decides to not go the challenge route. That's the second time on this homestand where we've seen a play that we thought the other team was going to challenge and they did not. The other one was in the White Sox series.
At first base.
Yeah, and what turned out to be a big inning for the Indians.
And it was the first inning.
It was, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was a Lindor ground ball.
Yes, it was.
Brayu came off the bag, but it looked like his foot came back.
Would have been the first
down.
out. That's when Shields was pitching that ball
yeah,
game.
That's right. The 2-2 pitch. You know, and that's the other thing too about baseball is that you can look at a play like the one right there and you could say, well, you know, it's already a 5-1 game. Is it really that big a deal that he doesn't challenge it? But in baseball, you never know because there's no clock. You never know what's going to happen the rest of the inning, the rest of the game.
I saw in the 9th inning yesterday in Pittsburgh where they were getting blown out by San Francisco, and it was a play at first base. That was bang, bang, and you figure, I'm not going to challenge it. Hurdle did and got it overturned for his player, and it turned out to be a hit. And that was a difference. I mean, it had no impact in the game, but you got to protect your players, man. If they're hustling down the line in the 9th inning of a 14-2 ball game, they deserve the right to have it, you know, turned over for them too. You don't have to just be winning; it have to be something that good.
I guess, Arch, I would just ask you, because we talk about the rules of baseball, the so-called unwritten rules and rules of decorum. You know, is it in bad taste? Does the other team say, "What are you doing?" And,
Well, they may think that way, but I'll tell you what: if you're the leader of that team, Tito or whoever the manager may be, and you see your guy busting his butt down the line in a game that's lopsided or one way, he deserves the time to get it checked. Absolutely right, he does. There's no decorum for that.
There's a blast to deep left center. Back is Jennings reaching for the wall. He's not quite deep enough to get there. Makes the catch, and Santana will tag and go to third. So a productive out for Jason Kipnis as he gets Santana to third with only one out. Time now for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. But here's the play by Francisco Lindor, laying out, keeps the ball in the infield. He doesn't have a play anywhere, but Logan Morrison, he just kept running around third. He must have assumed the ball got by Lindor, never picked up his third base coach, and he's a dead duck.
What as an infielder, the great play, 2 outs, you knock the ball down, keep him from scoring. Well, he couldn't keep the guy from third, but he certainly kept the guy from second on a heads-up play.
Tampa now has to bring the infield in as Lindor. tries to make it a 5-run lead. If he can get Santana home from third here, he takes inside ball 1. And really, this is a situation where Lindor, as a hitter, he's looking for a pitch that he can hit in the air to the outfield. Something he can drive and get that run home. And they're trying to get him to pop it up. Sometimes there's a real fine line between driving it to the outfield and popping it straight up.
Sure
too.
it is. Well, just something you know you can hit to the outfield in the air.
Well, Francisco tonight 0 for 2. He started off this series like a house of fire. He had 3 hits in his first 4 at bats, including a home run. Last night they held him to 0 for 4, even though he hit the ball hard a few times. Tonight he walked and scored in the first. He's flat out grounded out the last 2 trips. Again, the infield in, the 1-0 pitch. It's outside, 2-0. Do you think, Rick, even though Napoli can do a ton of damage, but he's a right-handed hitter, did Casale go out and say, look, don't give Lindor anything that he can hit to the outfield?
Well, sure. If you don't, we got a chance for a double play, or yes, not like you're going to try and walk them intentionally, but you certainly don't want to give in. I mean, you're already down 4. They're having a tough time scoring as it is. I'm sure he talked about how they want to go about getting them out.
And a good curveball in for a strike, 2-1.
You know, and that's not a pitch Lindor could hit in the air. So with the count in his favor, it's easy for him to just say no thank you.
It's a fastball, but it's away. No time call. And you saw Casale really emphasizing away with the fastball. Let's see if he stays with it. No, changed his mind. And Lindor hits it in the air. Well, deep enough.
Oh, easy.
Dickerson over the shoulder on the warning track. And Santana trots home to make it 6-1. And Santana crossing the dish. Lindor RBI number 37.
Well, he just stayed back nicely, and I think that was the changeup.
Yeah, and it's weird, Rick, because initially Casale said fastball away. But then they called timeout. Changed their mind, went with the changeup, and Lindor said thank you very much.
Yeah, nice job. He elevated it, but he stayed on it.
So not only do they get the run back, but they increase their lead with 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. And with 2 down, Mike Napoli 0 for 3 on the night. Hard smash, but with the shift on, Miller's right there. And the inning is over. But the Indians get 2 in the 7th, and they now lead it 6-1. the Indians look to sweep the homestand and run their home win streak to 11 in a row. Already the longest home win streak in the majors this year at 10 straight. But more important than that, a chance to go 3 up on Kansas City in the division. Taylor Motter 0 for 2 on the night, leading off, and Bauer's first pitch a little high, ball 1. Motter, then Nick Franklin and Kurt Casale due up for Tampa here in the 8th. Half swing, easy play for Napoli. He'll just wait back on it. 1 down. Down to Andre.
Well, guys, we've all had discussions over the last few weeks of where the Indians stand amongst other baseball teams. We know they're in first place, and run differential is something that some people look at, right? Coming into tonight's game, the Indians were plus 62, and you look at the other teams in the AL Central. The Royals came in today at -2, the Tigers at -3, and the White Sox at -12. Now, what does that say to you, Arch? Because I'm going to give you the leaders of everywhere else after that.
I'll tell you what, that tells me they're doing a job in their own division. They're playing well. I like that. I didn't realize it. I didn't look and see what the other teams were.
So all the other teams in the division are on the downside.
Yeah, coming in today. Now let me give you guys the leaders of all the other divisions.
I know. Okay, go ahead.
Baltimore's at a plus 23 coming into tonight. Texas was a plus 37. Washington over the National League was a plus 73. Oh. The Giants are a plus 62, which was exactly where the Indians were at. And you want to hear the Cubs? I saved for last.
Yeah,
they're like a Cedar Point ride. They're at plus 164.
Oh my goodness!
Just the numbers I wanted. I was looking at it last night. Just another number to look at where the Indians kind of stand up with other teams.
I'll tell you what. I love the way they're doing it. They're pitching so good. They don't give up many, and they've been on a nice little roll offensively, scoring runs, and they've had this nice run at home. So, it's sort of shocking. But I mean, I never really looked at those numbers that closely.
Plus 164. Wow.
I just want them to be 1 run better than the team they're playing every night.
It's true. That's all that matters. The rest of it's just window dressing, right?
Yeah, I guess it could be, but it looks nice.
2 down, and Kurt Casale will be the batter. Orsolani getting loose. And Trevor Bauer has been absolutely dynamite tonight, and he still, as you see there on the screen, he hasn't even hit 90 pitches yet. We could be looking at back-to-back complete games.
Yes,
here.
we could very easily. I would think that he's been in total command, total control.
I was thinking about after the game last night, Kevin Cash said, I know how good Corey Kluber can be. I was here when he won the Cy Young Award, and he said it was just one of those nights where we just didn't have a chance. He didn't give them any opportunities. Well, Trevor Bauer may have pitched even better, at least for a big chunk of this game. He was even more dominant. He's got 1 fewer strikeout than Kluber had last night, but he retired 16 in a row at one point. And now some knucklehead has just run onto the field to delay the action. Good luck climbing that wall, Bill.
Spider-Man.
And he's over.
Wow. That's all right. He won't go far.
Jim Folk's guys are pretty good at this stuff. I give that guy credit, though. He's off to the races.
Yeah, but he's got about 5 or 6 hounds on him.
He turned the wrong way, though. He turned back into the pursuit. That's not a good cutback.
Oh, boy. It's the last thing they need today.
Now the 1-2 pitch is up high. Two delivery. A little bit low.
Yeah, Trevor upset with himself. No, if he made a good pitch there, a nice fastball, if he hits his target, he's got him. And he just pulled it a tad.
Swinging a foul ball. I didn't know how many people would stay after the parade and come watch the ball game, because it's been a long day for those folks. But there are a lot of people who obviously, at least I think, were at the parade because they've got the yellow Cavaliers t-shirts and jerseys on. So definitely quite a few folks have spent a long time in downtown Cleveland. Trevor Bauer gets his 9th strikeout of the ball game, setting them down 1-2-3 here in the 8th inning. What a performance by Bauer. Is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. It's a 6-1 Indians lead. And Matt Andriese, who pitched the 7th inning, stays on to work here in the 8th. You know, just on this homestand, the Indians have outscored their opponents from the 7th inning on now 13-1. So the offense has been scoring late. I mean, they have 5 walk-off wins during the 10-game home win streak. But the offense has been scoring late. The bullpen's been doing its job.
Well, that's
and with the starting pitching the way it's been,
great chance to go 6-0 on this homestand. Yeah, and then the next time we return home, July 4th.
And a fastball hit toward left field. Over near the line, Dickerson. It's foul.
Well, he's had some pretty good pop going the other way today.
We're swinging into summer Friday night in Motown against the Tigers. Alan Jensen start our coverage on Indians Live at 6:30. First pitch at 7 right here on Sports Time Ohio, or streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Swinging into summer presented by Miller Lite. To short, Miller throws him out.
Well, voting is now open. You can vote up to 35 times to help your favorite Indians player to the All-Star game next month in San Diego. Visit Indians.com. Vote.
Swung out and missed by Uribe.
Well, he's going to have to get into one now if he wants to extend his streak any longer.
Foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Uribe struck out in the first, struck out in the third. He popped up on the infield in the 6th inning. Pulls that foul. You know, the thing about Uribe too, Rick, it's not like he's only looking for a pitch to hit for a home run. If it's anywhere in the general vicinity and he can get the bat to it, he just likes to swing the bat.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's been hitting everything awfully hard. Line drive, he's been seeing it and hitting it well.
But he chased one out of the zone, and there are 2 away. And that's going to bring up Lonnie Chisenhall. Well, we talked about the Indians and their ability to pull away the way they've been scoring late. And Tampa's problem has been their bullpen. It's just not able to keep them in games in which they're trying to play catch up.
Well, in years past, that was the one staple that they had. You know, when they went to their bullpen and they, you know, built up a lot of guys that have been around, and they rehabbed them and got them back. And boy, they've had a strong bullpen, that's for sure. But this year, it's a little bit different for them.
My cousin, who lives in Tampa and watches just about every Rays game, as soon as this game went to the 7th inning, he texted me and said, "The Sons of Katie Elder is coming on. I'm going to go watch that now." I told him, not even Dino and the Duke could save the Rays tonight the way Trevor Bauer's pitching. And then the Indians, of course, get 2 more runs in the 7th after Tampa had closed to 4-1, and all of a sudden looked like maybe they had a chance to make a game out of it.
Well, that's the one thing that you know firsthand. When you fall behind early, like the Rays did tonight, 3-0, you cannot give up anything else the rest of the way. You know, to give your offense a chance, especially when your offense isn't firing on all cylinders and guys aren't hitting real well. You just got to shut them down the rest of the way, and that's hard to do.
Ground ball up the middle, and that gets through. Lonnie Chisenhall has his 2nd hit of the night and his 4th hit in the series.
Well, there's one down, and that ball was not even a strike. And he just stayed right on it and almost hit the foot of Andres. And, you know, that base hit up the middle with 2 outs is going to take him out of the ball game because he's going to go back to the bullpen as cash.
Ryan Garton will be the new pitcher. He's a right-hander. We'll tell you all about him when we come back. together for the prime time event that's sure to light up the summer. It's the MLB All-Star Game from San Diego, July 12th, only on Fox.
That'll be here before you know it. And then after the All-Star break, on the road again, RNC happens in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Another busy.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge. I mean, we thought that. Well, I mean, it was a huge event today. But the Republican National Convention will be an enormous event with a lot of people from outside coming to Cleveland.
No question.
Chris Jimenez 1 for 3. It was like a giant love fest today with the atmosphere. I don't think the mood will be quite as jovial with the RNC coming to town.
You wouldn't think so, would you?
Not with everything that seems to be out there right now. But I am no politico, so I'm not. That's the end of my comments. We need Tony Amato and Marty to come up.
No, they're coming with us. No, we're bringing them with us. We're bringing them out of town.
No, but we need them to talk about this.
Discuss?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. No, we'll keep them down there.
The 0-2. A little bit outside. Ryan Garton is the second player in Rays history born in Clearwater.
Well, you talk about a hometown boy.
You're not kidding, right down the road. And the 2-2. Foul right back. It's funny though, all the years that we spent in Winter Haven, you say Clearwater and I think Phillies.
Right.
You know, it's just
sure.
All the spring training homes for teams for so many years. Just like, you know, you say Sarasota, I think first White Sox, then Cincinnati Reds. I don't even know who's there now. Baltimore. I think?
Yeah. Cincinnati came out to join us, and then they spent the money and they got Baltimore in there, who were the nomads down in spring training for years.
But right down near where the Rays make their home, you've got the Phillies in Clearwater, the Yankees over there in Tampa. The Blue Jays are in Dunedin. Now the 2-2. Foul the other way by Jimenez.
Well, and the Tigers that are down in Lakeland, they'll be the only team in that area, because isn't Atlanta moving out and moving in with somebody?
They're
moving out.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
And the Astros might be on the move from Kissimmee.
Yes, they are. So they're going to have some long road trips.
Now the 2-2. Another foul back. He can't get one by him. Well, Jimenez can't get one between the white lines. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat, where Jimenez, who singled inside the bag at first in the second inning. Trying to throw a big curveball, but missed. Full count. Red Sox lead the White Sox 6-4. In the bottom of the 6th at Fenway, and Boston threatening to add to their lead. 2 on with 2 out there. Runner goes, and the ball is popped foul out of play. Detroit on top of Seattle 5-1. They're in the bottom of the 7th in Detroit. The Tigers have banged out a dozen hits in that game. They've been playing better. They've gone a game over 500 at this point.
Yeah, Upton's swinging it pretty well. Cabrera, even though they have to pick up the pace a little bit because of J.D. Martinez being out.
Jimenez drives one deep left field. Back goes Dickerson and makes the over-the-shoulder catch. 8 complete. Cleveland 6, Tampa 1.
Field as they try for their 11th straight win at home. Over here in the corner, along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Boy, Trevor Bauer trying for his complete game here tonight. What a month of June he's had.
It's been incredible, the dynamic between him and Chris Jimenez. How about this for Indian starting pitchers this season? They get 4 or more runs of support. They can hold on here. They'll run the record to 31-1.
Sounds good. Indians Live right after the game, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. For the 9th, here are Matt and Rick, fellas.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. The Indians trying to complete the month of June undefeated at home. And they're 3 outs away as Trevor Bauer delivers a first pitch strike to Logan Forsythe. Jose Ramirez moves in from left field, takes over at third. And Michael Martinez into the ball game. He's now on left. 2 quick strikes on Forsythe.
Oh, baby.
Big hook. Sit down. Number 10 for Bauer.
Oh, a buckler right there. Nice pitch. You can see Forsythe, he just sees it coming at him, and watch the knees, a little shake, rattle and roll right there with a good curveball. 10 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 3 hits for Trevor today. What a, tell you what, these last 2 games, these guys coming at him, they're something else.
Now Brad Miller. A little bit high, ball 1. Perhaps buoyed by the final game of the homestand, or the combination of the ball game followed by the championship parade for the Cavs, but the biggest crowd of the series turning out tonight, 21,216. Back out of play. And again, the Indians will say goodbye after tonight until they return on the 4th of July. The 1-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball to Kipnis. 2 down. Been a long day of celebrating for many in the 2-1-6, and now a chance to witness not only a homestand sweep, but a June home sweep.
That's incredible. So they played 11 games at home, and they could go 11-0. Beautiful. I like what Trevor Bauer's doing tonight. That's fun to watch.
Low and away. Hit to left, but it's hooking, foul.
It also cost him a bat right there. It didn't sound real solid. So he will make the exchange, get a new piece of lumber. This is the one guy that has had a good month of June with hitting a long ball from Tampa. But when you have one guy in your lineup that's, you can pitch around him. You don't have to throw him strikes unless somebody else can hurt you as well. So they they'll have tomorrow off, as I mentioned. They'll go into Baltimore for 4. Boy, they're going to have their work cut out for them there as well.
The 2-1 pitch. Back towards us. And into the seats. Bauer's 2-2 pitch is popped back again, same spot, just below us.
Get you up, make you move.
Wow, you still got a pretty good first step.
The first one I could see was going to miss us.
You used to dive for those.
Yes, I used to. Is right. I remember the day.
The 2-2 in the dirt, full count. Longoria 0 for 3 tonight, 2 for 11 in the series. The payoff pitch and a foul ball third base side. Longoria, he's a real pro. You would expect nothing more than a professional at bat. Down 5 with 2 outs in the ninth. At one point tonight, Trevor Bauer retired 16 Tampa hitters in a row. He has struck out 10. Walked only 1. The 3-2. Another foul out of play.
It was a good pitch. I mean, he let it all hang out right there. 96-mile-an-hour heater on the outside edge. Longoria, nice job just to foul it off.
96 miles an hour on his 110th pitch tonight. The payoff. Another foul back. But again, that's not all that surprising to those of us who watch Trevor Bauer. He gets stronger as games go along.
Yeah, he doesn't shy away from it. I'll tell you what, he doesn't tire and he doesn't want out. He's one guy that, hey, let me go. He's ready for it.
One more time, the 3-2. And a ground ball to third. Ramirez has it, throws him out, and the game is over. The Indians win it by a final score of 6-1. You've heard of the June swoon. Well, this has been the June bloom for the 2016 Cleveland Indians as they finish the month of June undefeated at home. It's the first time they've done that in club history.
No kidding. Had a winning month, the undefeated month at home, huh? That's impressive. Very impressive. Well, they go up to 2 games up in the Central Division now with the Kansas City loss, so that's good. And they can enjoy a nice off day tomorrow, and then head out and play 10 games on the road. So that, I mean, it was fun to watch this homestand. It really was.
11 games over 500, a 3-game lead over Kansas City in the AL Central. What a homestand! What a month of June for the Cleveland Indians. 6-1 is the final. Back with a final word right after this.